I am back from the Midwest and I get to have my first New England IPA in like a week or two, and it's perhaps one of the kings of them all. My magical mistress waited in line to get Headroom from Trillium, what they call their hoppiest beer ever, 7 pounds per barrel, which I know a lot of breweries probably make double IPAs with 7 pounds per barrel, but Trillium does it in a way where they really utilize the hops very well. And this one, yeah, their highest rated, most sought after beer in general from Trillium. This is the second time they made it. They make it for the Hop Jam Festival in Vermont, apparently. They made it last summer, and then they've made it again this summer. It was canned 2 days ago, and has a little interesting musical mixing board on there. It says it has the 3 hops, but it's kind of odd. It looks like they're all turned down to 0, which kind of implies that there's none of them in the beer. But whatever, it's still kind of a cool drawing on there. And it's Columbus Galaxy and Mosaic. Galaxy and Mosaic, some of the fruitiest ones out there. I'm currently probably mostly in love with Galaxy. And I guess it's just because it's their hoppiest beer ever. That's why people have been rating it really high. It's probably really good. I didn't have it last year. Haven't had it yet this year. It's not as highly rated as like Heady Topper and some Treehouse things, but that's just because those are more of a pilgrimage, harder to get perhaps. And this one also has fewer ratings. I guess this is harder to get than like Heady Topper, but it doesn't have the mystique and everything surrounding it yet. And it only has like a couple thousand ratings, not even on Untappd, so it doesn't like get as high up on their highest rated whatever algorithm because of that. But let's just shut up and drink it. It's been in the fridge the whole time, so it should be pristine. I can smell it, and it looks like a lot of their other beers. Especially hazy. Yeah, that is almost kind of gray yellow, which I've seen some other beers look like this, like Bissell Brothers. Their Nothing Gold is kind of like this, but Trillium usually is a little bit brighter, but that is real gray, and I'm smelling it intensely already. And the head is not sticking around too much, which with these ridiculously hoppy beers, sometimes it's just hard to do that. And wow. Wow. Oh my. Whew. Wow. that packs in. It just smells so much like pineapple and mango juice. It's got some of the dank aspects, but no, the fruit. It's just the fruit explodes in this beer. It's ridiculous. Whoa. Pineapple, mango, peach, passion fruit, guava, all of that is exploding in the aroma of this beer. And it doesn't even have too much weird green sweaty funk or anything. There's no Citra in this, and Citra can be especially caddy. But I do know that Mosaic can be a little bit oniony too, but that is just full of every tropical fruit and stone fruit you can imagine, fully ripe. And you don't have to even try hard to get the aroma out of this. And it looks like you can't even really tell what the carbonation is with this. I think it's pretty high, but not ridiculously high. But the aroma is still filling up the room, I'm sure. Oh yeah, and I'm not smelling any booze or anything yet. It's only 8% alcohol, which I like quite a bit because a lot of brewers are like, oh, we're going to make our hoppiest beer ever, so let's make it also super strong. And I think that all that malt and booze gets in the way of the fruitiness of the hops. Yeah, and it smells like cream, vanilla cream, all that too. Cake, it's beautiful. Wow. And it has more texture and than most of the Trillium beers. It's not doesn't have that light fluffy thing on the tongue, and it lingers. Ooh. There's definitely a lot of fresh cut green herbs happening, and a little bit of a minerality in there too, with intense fruits, and then now I'm just a little bit of heat in the back of the throat. But that one sip is just explosive. It's thick and grainy. It's not too syrupy. It's got a good amount of sweetness like most Trillium beers. And the bitterness after a while is probably going to linger more than it does with most Trillium beers, but that is just, you can't see anything through that. That looks like an orange Julius. It looks like some melted sherbet or something. Oh yeah. It's got sweet spices like cardamom in there, like Indian spices that really blend well with custard, that sort of thing going on. I wouldn't say cinnamon or anything like that, but almost allspice. It's just like fresh cut, not too funky green herbs, and yeah, sweet spices like cardamom and nutmeg maybe, and like vanilla. That's what's going on besides the intense, juicy character of this. And it's not just like, it is like drinking orange juice too, but it's all the other tropical fruits are present in the aroma and in the flavor, and it lingers. Now I'm noticing a little bit more heat. It lingers with some of that, and then kind of fades to all these sweet spices. And it's really great. Whew. And it's the intensity of the hops when it's on your tongue reminds me a little bit of the Alchemist's, what do you call it? The Crusher, but that one is way more bitter and way more boozy. But that one I think maybe had a level, almost as much hops as this one has in it. But it's different. Like a lot of the other Trillium beers, they smell fruity, and then they're on the tongue, they're really sweet and kind of fluffy. But this does have an intense herbaceous spicy character that comes in deeper, but doesn't pull the fruit out of there in any way. The aroma's definitely fruitier than this lingering flavor in my mouth. But on the tongue, when you first swallow it, it's juicy and succulent and so ripe. And now the bitterness is, yeah, a little bit noticeable, but it's still a lot lighter than the Crusher from the Alchemist or some West Coast style IPAs like Stone. It's still a pleasant affair, and it finishes, yeah, with this interesting Indian sweet spice orange. Maybe it's like a pithy orange type of bitterness along with the spices. But this is the highest impact juicy IPA I've had, because a lot of these ones, you know, they don't hit you with so much bitterness at first, but this one, it hits you on the tongue quite hard. It's not soft and light and fruity like a cocktail like some of the other Trillium ones, but they've done it in a very palatable way. They didn't change their house style at all. It packs more fruit in it than any of the other Trillium beers. But it's still very, very, very Trillium. Like I can't see another brewery making something like this, except Treehouse. But Treehouse seems like they're a little less bitter. But I haven't had their King Julius. I had Doppelganger, but this I think beats Doppelganger. Yeah, it's a little different from the Galaxy Cutting Tiles, which I liked quite a bit. It doesn't have that sweeter honey quality to it. The bitterness is pretty strong in this one for a Trillium beer, but it's perfect. I'll give it 105 bags of popcorn. Or for you people who want to like just fast forward to the end and talk about ratings, give it maybe, how about a 95, 96 and a half, and 2 sodas. But it's very, very good. And if you got your hands on it, you're very lucky. But there's plenty of other awesome beers out there. And breweries are getting better and better at doing this. The couple I had in the Midwest were actually disappointing. And this is the best welcome home present ever. So, yep, Headroom is awesome. End of video.